Some rappers have weird opinions on Drake, like 21 Savage, who said that no one in the hood listens to Drake's music.
Niggas don't be listening to Drake like that. Well, if I wasn't a rapper, I don't feel like I still would listen to Drake for real. It's just I'm a rapper, so I understand the work he put in now, how hard he go. Wait, like when you ain't no rapper, all them statistics don't mean shit. A regular street don't give a f about how many times you went #1, like how many white people listen to your. They don't even think that the farthest they think is the club. Who's selling this club out? That's who they think is the biggest. Like in Atlanta, it's a lot of who you really can't tell them Future ain't bigger than Drake.
I always say it's cap. Really?
Oh God, I used to think that. Drake ain't really no big me.
But he's not the only rapper to react to Drake, because during his beef with Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg reacted to Drake's tailor-made freestyle, where Drake created an AI Snoop voice to help him diss Kendrick, as Snoop Dogg was unaware of it even happening.
They did what? When? How? Are you sure? Why off? Everybody calling my phone, blew me up. What happened? What's going on?
However, none of this compares to Drake's beef with XXXTentacion, who would react to Drake stealing his music. It all started from X tweeting, "Drake's mom is kinda cute." This was around the time X's music career began taking off with the release of his hit song Look At Me. So to get revenge against XXXTentacion, as he was also in jail at the time, Drake would completely steal his flow, release a song titled KMT that X was not happy about whatsoever. This song had a very similar beat, flow, and speed to X's song Look At Me, as X would speak about it during an interview.
I was on the phone with my dog Chris. He was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this Drake." That's exactly what he said. Like, this Drake, you gotta listen to this. So he plays it. I hear da 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 da. I'm like, what the f? As soon as it started, like I knew he was getting that. And the funny thing is, we didn't discover it. The fan, like you said, the fans, you could take his verse, like they did a mashup. They put his verse on my song, and the cadence is literally just at the same tempo. It's not offbeat at all.
However, Drake would deny stealing it directly from X. Instead, it was just a weird coincidence.
I'm seeing all this on my IG under like some random picture of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? I go and I find what song they're talking about, you know? And I listen to it, I'm like, okay, I see where people could draw like this comparison off of like the first 2 lines, whether it be the cadence or the rhyme pattern, whatever. It's crazy that people think that after all this time, after all I've been through, that I'm the type of person to go and think that I'm gonna like take that and make it my own. Like, I'm not.
X would continue going at Drake for the next few months. It got so bad that he even released an Instagram story saying, "If anyone tries to get me, it was at Champagne Poppy, aka Drake. I'm snitching right now." However, ASAP Rocky had a much different experience with Drake. Rocky was seen on an interview detailing on how much Drake impacted the beginning of his music career.
Only person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake. I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on, like, before anybody. He didn't want to sign me.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, it was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. Like, you gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I forever owe Drake.
Rocky wasn't done here, though. He would even speak on his first ever conversation that he had with Drizzy.
First conversation, he was himself. He said, yo, first off, I'm gonna let you know I'm a real, but I'm a man of my word. Basically, he was saying he's a stand-up guy. I never met him. First conversation, he's saying he's gonna take me on a tour, and I'm like, wow, man, I don't know, man, whatever. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just was like, when I see it, I'll believe it. When I met him, everything like showed me love, and this is when I was a nobody, you know. And yo, man, Drizzy, man, he's good people.
As back near the start of ASAP Rocky's music career, he was invited to take part of Drake's 2012 Take Care tour, which helped him build momentum on his music career.
You got the Drake tour coming up. How did that come about, and what's your relationship with Drake?
It came about because he added me to the tour. He said he was a fan of the music, and he reached out to me, and now we're going on tour. And we're cool, we're good friends.
With the early support from Drake in the music industry, chemistry, A$AP Rocky would take off in the rap industry. Later on in 2019, he'd bring out Drake in the middle of his sold-out show to return the favor. Keep in mind the beef that he had just last year with A$AP Rocky. As the following year later in 2020, A$AP Rocky would announce the tour with Rihanna. Not only that, but they would also have a relationship that Drake didn't like. In his song titled Middle of the Ocean from the Her Loss album, Drake would rap the lyrics, "Swedish jail cell smelling like some carby musk. For your birthday, your boyfriend got a party bus. Bottle signs, club lines, you should have come with us." As who's the only rapper that has been in a Swedish jail cell? This would be none other than A$AP Rocky, who was arrested in Sweden during a concert, making many point out that Drake had jealousy that Rihanna decided to go with A$AP Rocky instead of him. Despite all of the history Drake's had with Rihanna over the years, in 2022, when Rihanna and A$AP Rocky announced their pregnancy, Drake would unfollow Rihanna just one day later. But what's even more interesting is his relationship with Kendrick Lamar. What many don't know is that Drake and Kendrick's beef started over a decade ago. As even Joe Budden called out, this beef has been brewing up for over 10 years before it even went viral last year.
Back to my future Metro Boomin Drake tension. You don't think it's weird that nothing ever happened with that hit smash song that Future and Drake made with Tim's?
What do you mean? Nothing happened for you? It was a hit.
When you say,
it was a hit.
When you say what? I know it was a hit. It was a smash.
So what you mean? Nothing happened with it.
Never heard it again.
Now, when Kendrick Lamar dropped his iconic verse in his 2013 track titled Control, he name-checked many artists in the game, including Drake. He would rap the lyrics, "I got love for you all, but I'm trying to ruin you." Now, while Kendrick meant the lyrics jokingly, Drake did get annoyed by his name being added in it. Drake responded in an interview with Billboard by saying, "It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know I'm good, and I know Kendrick's not touching me at all in any platform." He even added into his song titled Language these lyrics, "I don't know why they're lying, but your stuff ain't that inspiring." Where Kendrick Lamar would respond to the diss at the BET Awards with his freestyle saying, "Yeah, and nothing's been the same since they dropped Control," and tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Now, Kendrick Lamar would end up starting the beef here. He assured fans, though, that he didn't mean anything bad with his verse, but Drake, he didn't take it lightly.
The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. You know, when I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and you know.
Kendrick Lamar spoke out saying that it was all love.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Cole's of the world or Drake's of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. Personally, I respect these dudes as, you know, as people. You know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing. I respect their music, for sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
As Drake would then finally respond to the situation in 2014 saying, "I never once said Kendrick was a bad guy or that I didn't like him. I think he's a genius in his own right, but I also stood my ground as I should." And with that came another step, which then I have to realize that I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall. Kendrick Lamar would then pop out saying that it was a reach by everyone to suggest that this was anything more than just a friendly feud.
That's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far. But I mean, people pick at things all day, every day. You know, I can't get mad at it, but they reach it. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that playing out, you know, as entertaining. Maybe to, you know, the people listening, you know, but not for myself.
Fast forward to 2019, Drake would then show respect to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole during this interview.
I have a lot of respect for, you know, the other two guys that I'm constantly, you know, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, you know, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations, much like Jay did.
With J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake being arguably the top three lyricists in the game, J. Cole would then jump in to share his respect for the other two.
I'm more interested in the relationship because I also see a time when I'm not doing it. That seems very realistic. I would, you know, I don't want to be like, damn, we never kicked it. You know what I mean? Like, It was always respecting, because even at its most competitive, you're not going to be competitive with somebody you don't respect. I think now it's just more of a wisdom thing, where it's like, yo, you can never have it all. 100% of people are never going to say J. Cole is the best rapper breathing. You won't get 90%. You won't get 90% to say Drake. You won't get 90% to say Kendrick. It's just never gonna happen.
Things then went silent for many years. This was until Drake and Kendrick Lamar reached an entirely new beef in 2024. It would be announced. Academics reveals that Kendrick was supposed to be on First Person S with Drake and J. Cole, but he declined it, which is then what started the beef.
I now have good authority to say that allegedly Drake hit up Kendrick, and First Person Shooter should have been a song with Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. Now, if you think about this entire timeline and beef with that in mind, makes sense. Drake hit up Kendrick to say, hey, we got an open for you. It's me and Cole. Come holla at me. Do the song. Kendrick doesn't do the song. Then he hears the song, and the song is a bunch of who's talking about me and you is a Spider-Man meme and blah 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 blah. And he says, man, these who couldn't get a feature from me is now acting like they're number one and number two. Both of them.
As Kendrick Lamar would be dropping diss tracks like Euphoria and even Meet the Grams. The disses were so hard, Rick Ross said if you ever wanted to know what Andre 3000 was like in a battle, it's current day Kendrick Lamar against Drake.
See, if you really into this music, what I'm listening to right now, what Kendrick just released, is if you was a real Outkast fan, if you was a real Outkast fan and you ever wanted to know what 3000 would be like if he ever was in a battle, this is the closest you will ever get to Andre 3000 ever having to do it dirty. It's Kendrick Lamar.
But there is one part in the beef that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. It was Kendrick Lamar's bottled up feelings about how Drake had a relationship with Lil Wayne's girlfriend during the YMCMB era. He rapped the lyrics, "You mess with Wayne's girl while he was in jail, then get his face tatted like a girl apologizing," as during the YMCMB era, Lil Wayne was locked up in jail, which then resulted in Drake having a little situation going on with Lil Wayne's girlfriend at the time. Then when Lil Wayne got released, he found out Drake was out with his girlfriend, which resulted in Drake randomly appearing with a Lil Wayne tattoo on the back of his arm as an apology. This resulted in Rick Ross telling Drake, don't even reply.
Let me give you this advice, because you ain't got nobody around you, or you ain't got no real name. Let me just put it like that, ain't no real name. Stop. Don't respond. Don't respond. You ain't even peeped when the intro came on with the Teddy Pendergrass. That was that black vibe. Don't do it. Don't go write a 8-minute verse that, I know Yachty, I know you want to get that money. You ain't wrong. Keep buying them big houses,
But someone else that also had a very bad past with Drake is none other than Chris Brown. Chris Brown was having a very controversial past with Rihanna. Drake had his own close friendship with Rihanna way back in the day. This resulted in the two getting into a scrap in 2012 over Rihanna. Chris Brown spoke out about the beef during this interview that gets nearly never talked about.
I mean, it's not entertaining for me. It's more me being real, saying what I gotta say.
Right.
Like, it's not, you know, I ain't out here trying to go at him. I ain't got people after him. You know, it's just we just chilling. I have my differences and he has his. What I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation for anything to mess up my career anymore.
I heard.
You know, focus on what it is. Focus on your music.
Chris Brown would then later clear it up further by saying, it was just a misunderstanding on both ends. I ain't going into too much detail, but it's funny now. But as far as that, he's good, he's straight. He continued it saying, quote, it was really funny. Then we actually sat and talked about it afterwards, and it was like, man, what are we doing? The two would then go off to release their 8-time platinum record titled No Guidance. And it really seemed like the two had finally made amends, as Drake would even open up about the beef.
Well, I think we've come together before and tried to link and make music. And I think we were always kind of forcing it. I think there was always like resentment on both sides. Again, when you kind of step away from it and break it down, you start to feel silly because it's like over like girl stuff, you know? I just always really had a lot of admiration for his talent. When the song was finished, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like not only did we link back up and like have like a cool show moment, but like we did a record together.
But one rapper that was really molded by the success of Drake was none other than Lil Baby. They had multiple collaborations together over the years. Lil Baby even took it to an interview discussing him and Drizzy's friendship.
I messaged Drake like, he a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He like, he real observant, you know what I'm saying? He said like, I already messed with him for a minute.
This has been in a long time.
Me, like 2018, we're gonna make it happen, but we made it happen for real. Now, like I never, you know, I don't know nothing about this. So, you know, I can't even think this far, like, so I ain't no way I thought about, like, this successful, you know what I'm saying?
But another rapper that overcame a beef with Drake would be none other than Meek Mill. He would hop on the radio sharing.
It was exciting. Me and him actually been in contact probably for like a year before, but the natural way, like everybody's trying to get us, all right, y'all, we gonna get y'all to meet up, this, that, and the third. I might not be ready for that. He might not be ready for that. So when we both was ready for that, we linked up and just like, all right, we're gonna do it. And Boston happened to be the place. We like, we're gonna come out and get it. And we just representing building bridges. It's 2019.
Now this was just after they dropped their collaboration song titled Going Bad, where they finally found peace between the two. Just like how Meek Mill collaborated with Drake, Trippie Redd would get his one Drizzy feature too, where he would say that he was super excited about it.
Do you know that it's gonna be that one that everybody pay attention to?
Yeah, you know, I felt like that just because it was Drake anyway. So it wasn't even really.
When you
mess
get
with
that
music,
though,
so.
do you go yes?
Oh yeah, I was turned.
Yeah,
we was sending music back and forth trying to figure it out, and like I got that last minute to add to the album.
Now, one of the all-time GOATs in the rap industry is Eminem. He cleared up the meaning behind one of his bars in the song titled Lucky You, which fans believe was targeted at Drake in a diss line.
People took that line and thought you were indirectly talking about Drake.
No, see, here's the thing. Drake is always going to be in my good graces because he did something for one of my daughters that I'll never forget, and he will always be in my graces with that. And I like Drake. What I'm telling you with these lines is I don't know what's real and what's not at this point.
One of the fans' most favorite collaborations is Drake and Travis Scott. The Sicko Mode collaborator, he would end up sharing the secrets behind the scenes of creating his verse for Drake's song titled Company.
It's one of them, man. We went over to his crib one day when I was just working on my album. I just played him like a couple songs off my, but like my all over the place. Like before I left, he was like, yeah, I want to just give you this. It was literally the last day before his album was about to come out that I turned reversing. Like literally.
What? And you made it that tight?
Yeah, literally. Like he'll tell you.
That's a quick turnaround.
It was like so serious. It was like my last day in LA kind of type of.
Just like Travis Scott did, we would also see The Game discuss how his song 100 featuring Drake was made.
Drake does all his biggest records like in the beginning were, like geared towards women. So whenever you think Drake, you're like, yo, let me go to Drake and get a radio single real quick. And then when I went to Drake, he was like, yo, man, I don't want to give you that. I want to do some hip hop, something cool, something real. And so we got the 100 beat and we just went in, man. And that song was done in like 30 minutes too, man. And we was out of there.
But if you're a fan of Drake, like the video, because DJ Khaled is a massive fan of him, he would speak on the relationship with Drake and how he supported Khaled through a lot in his career.
We just ever since built a relationship and he has respect for me. He always told me that. What I love about Drake is he cares about me and he cares about me winning. And you don't find many people like that, you know what I'm saying? And I have the same love back for him, meaning as in I respect him as an artist. I think he's one of the greatest, meaning as in for our time. Like I put him up there with all the great ones.
As someone else with very high praise for Drake is Logic. He would share this during an interview, as while listening, comment down below the next rapper you want rappers' reactions on.
Oh, and I think that's why Drake is the best, because he sees every wave. Think about like Best I Ever Had Drake, and then think about God's Plan and everything in between. It's just been a complete evolution of music, and he's always been ahead of the curve. To be able to look and see the little homies and what they're on and be like, oh, okay. And not only is Drake gonna be like, I with that vibe that inspires me, I'm gonna with you too and put you on, you know what I mean? That's like really commendable and extremely respectful.